Ask us a question and we'll answer it live on the air. Head over to our Discord. You can get there through Infendo.com and ask us a question in the question block channel.
Creating overwhelming urges to buy Nintendo crap since 2005. Infendo Radio is on now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Infendo Radio. Not just any Infendo Radio, mind you. Infendo Radio episode 650. That's right. Us, our predecessors, and the snails that started this podcast in the Jurassic era have been doing this show for 650 episodes. We're so honored to have you be one of the people that's listening to it tonight. I am joined by my two current co-hosts in this ever-revolving door of a podcast, Eugene and Justin. Justin, you're awfully colorful tonight. Where are you, and how are you, and when are you, and where can the people find you?
Yes, all of that. You can find me on Twitter at InfendoJustin, where for some reason I'm still getting into numerous arguments about Star Wars.
Productive.
You can, seems to be more Star Wars talk than Nintendo talk lately.
Bunch of scallywags out there.
But you can also follow me on Twitter at Utilidork for me talking about more Star Wars and Disney stuff, and go to the DisneyParkBench.com where I write and used to podcast about it.
Very nice.
And will again someday.
Eugene, where do you write and used to podcast, and how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. You can go to Infendo.com to find all the things, the Discord, the question block channel, all that fun stuff. But I have something for you all that you may not have expected. It is a 0 episode or a 5 episode, so we should have a game. I have a bad game description for us tonight, and I'd like to indulge you all this evening, if you would let me.
Well, I would be delighted, Eugene. I think that sounds like a fun way to kick off the evening.
Well, we have one bad game description tonight, just to, kind of keep it fresh. It's going to start off with a complete ninja mission to earn a host of ninja special items. Ninja story mode in a single-player ninja mode that can be experienced offline. Enjoy a ninja tale of ninja intrigue told through dynamic ninja graphic novel style cutscenes.
Oh, we just jumped right into this.
And intense action sequences. In the ninja action sequences, you'll track down and do ninja battles with sinister space ninjas, along with other ninja missions. The final ninja stage features a thrilling ninja battle against a giant ninja robot that will test your ninja skills to the max. Woo! Gentlemen, what is the price of this ninja game?
Oh my god. Well, whoever's paying the SEO marketing team to get a niche on the word ninja is certainly getting their money's worth. Justin,
I don't know, $5.
Oh, I was gonna give you the choice of going first or second, but okay, Justin says $5. Ooh, the music matches. Very interesting. Man, $5 is a good guess, and I don't want to be the guy who just guesses like 501 because that feels like a real jerk move on a one-round game. I'm gonna say $7.99. I think it's $7.99 or above.
Well, gentlemen, either way, you would have won that round and the game, because this game, Ninjala Story Pack Chapter 1, is valued at $9.99. However, you can get it for 90% off right now on sale for 99 cents if you so choose. So
Ninjala, is that?
I choose not.
Is that the big one that came out? The like Splatoon-like game?
Yeah, I think so. It looks Splatoon-y.
Yeah. Wow,
yeah,
I thought that game was supposed to be like professional, and the description is really bad. Well, as we always say on this show, just because the description is bad doesn't mean the game is. But
I have not played Ninjala, but it is downloaded on my Switch for someday.
Imagine if the description of Splatoon was like squid power, As a squid, you use squid ink to squid the opponents with your squid-like reflexes. Although to be fair, the first ad for Splatoon was "You're a kid now, you're a squid now, you're a kid, you're a squid, you're a kid, you're a squid, you're a kid, you're a squid." So maybe that's really not that far off. Okay, well, I appreciate that, Eugene. That was a good way to break in the show. We have another kind of special topic for tonight in honor of kind of an anniversary episode of sorts. We're going to be talking about our favorite game on the Switch and kind of, debating why these two are wrong and my choice is right. But before we do that, I would like to kind of break with tradition and ask a question block question for everybody, because this is actually what inspired us to talk about our favorite game on the Switch. This is a question from one of our listeners in Discord. I am not going to attempt to. Well, it's not that bad actually. It's JDP Cart 18 is the username. Also, Jamie. I like going with Jamie. Jamie asks, "Are any of you going to have a go at playing this? Octopath Traveler is my favorite game on Switch, so to say that I'm keen would be an understatement. I got to play the closed beta earlier this year and thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. That game is Octopath Traveler: Champions of the Continent." So I know very little about this actually. I've been kind of living in an Octopath Traveler bunker and have not been that abreast of what's going on in the Octopath world. Does anybody know exactly what this is that we're looking at? Is this an expansion? Is this a whole new game? Like, what's the dealio?
I think it's DLC from what I remember. I don't know if it's a whole new game or what, so I could be completely wrong. But I never played the original Octopath Traveler, so for me it's kind of low on my radar. It's high on my pile of shame, I'll tell you that much, because I actually have it downloaded. I think it was on sale at one point, so I just picked it up, and it's on my SD card as it were, but just haven't played it.
It is a brand new game. It looks to be mobile because it says the platforms are Android and iOS.
Interesting.
It is a prequel story actually to the original game, which is kind of interesting. It is free to play actually too. So I guess if you want to try some Octopath Traveler and you don't want to pay for it, this would be a good way to get started with it.
Right.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah, no, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I actually own Octopath Traveler, and I've never dove into that. Like, I have a real hard time getting started with JRPGs, I find. I have to be really invested to make that leap, and I don't do that with a lot of games. And Octopath is one of those ones that I've had, starter anxiety with. Unfortunately, I think our resident Octopath expert is currently a ghost haunting the studio, and that would be Steve, because he actually did play through, I believe, all of Octopath Traveler, and I think rather enjoyed it. So I'll have to ask him if he's gonna be playing it. But Justin, I assume you're in the same boat as us. Very little.
I mean, it's beautiful. I can say that much. I would love to play games that look like that, but I'm not a turn-based RPG sort of person, least of all a intense hardcore turn-based RPG sort of person. So yeah, probably not for me. I'll probably never play it, and I'll probably not play its pseudo sequel thing.
Well, if you ever want to give it a try, apparently it just launched worldwide today. So give it a try. Yeah, it seems like it did pretty well in Japan. Some people seemed a little bummed that it didn't come out on the Switch, but it's probably worth a try. People seem pretty into it.
You said it was mobile. Is it free to play? Because if it's free to play it.
Yeah, they say it's free to play. So, maybe give it a download.
I honestly might just download it just for the hell of it, just because it's free to play, and just report in,
Yeah, do it. I'll bug Steve about it too, see if he can get on it.
Yeah, I'll give anything a chance if it's free. I'll tell you that much. Ask Pokemon Go that, and then I'll give you. I don't even want to know how much money. Oh my god, I really don't even want to know.
You know what? I downloaded in a moment of weakness and started playing again, but pretty much put down immediately.
What's that?
Mario Run.
Oh really?
I got into that game again a few months ago.
I like it. It's a fun little mobile game. But the real reason I did it is because I have a new Switch account and I was getting all the platinum points again that you can get from that game. But yeah, I picked it up for a day and then I just forgot I had it. So, well, alrighty then. I thought somebody was going to say something, but so now we know what Jamie's favorite game is, which is Octopath Traveler. My question for you guys, and for myself, I guess, is what is your favorite Nintendo Switch game? And I will let any of us go first that wants to gush about their favorite game, but What's your favorite game? Why is it your favorite game? Was it your favorite game when you first started playing it? Has that changed? Is Justin going to say Breath of the Wild because he just changed his background to Breath of the Wild? Justin, why don't you go first?
Yeah, like I was looking at my list. Unfortunately, I was gonna look and see which game I had the most hours on, or which games I had
same
the most
thing.
hours on. But because I upgraded to the Switch, oh, and it disappeared. Because I upgraded to the Switch OLED, like a year ago or whenever it came out. None of the play times are accurate, so it's all out of
That's a
whack.
bummer.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know that I spent a lot of time playing Breath of the Wild, first on the Wii U, and then when I got on the Switch, I thought, oh well, I'll just kind of keep it in my back pocket. But I put probably just as many hours into it on the Switch, and it's one that I can always pick up and get back into. I can play it in 3D if I put it in my little headset, like that. Whoa, Wiggy. This is what happens when you don't have a green screen. But yeah, I mean, there are so many great games and unique games to the Switch that I hate to give, that I hate to like ignore, but it always comes back to Breath of the Wild for me. Like that is like the perfect game for this system.
Yeah,
All right. Well, Eugene, same.
I'm gonna piggyback on that, but I'm gonna cheat because I've got three. So I've got a cheating answer, I've got Breath of the Wild, and I've got a different game. So Breath of the Wild, obviously, I think that's like that's probably my real answer. If I really stop and think about it, played that game so much, like just so much. I played that game. So it's like, how could I not say that? However, Smash Bros. Exists on this console, and it was really, really, really good. So I think Smash Brothers would be my non-Breath of the Wild answer, but my cheating answer would be I'd have to boot up my hack switch for it, but it would be Illusion of Gaia because I've been playing the hell out of that game lately on my hack switch because I can, and Square Enix is never going to release it on like the Nintendo Online Store or whatever. They're probably never going to release it ever again. So like I really don't feel bad that I'm playing it, hacked. So I would give you money, Square, like I really would, but sorry, there's no other way. So.
Well,
yeah, Lucas, you've got a probably non-Breath of the Wild answer, I would imagine. What is it?
yeah, I put a lot of time into Breath of the Wild, but I don't particularly enjoy that game, so my answer will not be Breath of the Wild. I actually did what Justin did. I looked at my get time played, and I think my favorite game is actually number 11 on my list of most played games. Number 1 is Pokemon Sword, by the way. Tons of time in that game. Then Animal Crossing and Smash Bros. Both have a bunch of time in it. But see, Animal Crossing and Breath of the Wild, to me, those two don't really count as much for me in terms of like time played because they're games that demand a long amount of your time. So I understand why I have so much time in that versus a game like Pokemon or Smash Bros. Where I really dumped time into it when there was really very little to do because I was just obsessed with it. But no, I think my preferred game, like I said, number 11 on my list of most played games, is Pokemon Legends Arceus. And I
really have to play more of that game because I'm sure I would love it more if I played it more. But I got so many great games came out around the same, like within the same span of time.
So ironically, what I will say is I think much like you guys, my favorite games on this system have been games that have revolutionized a particular series in a way that changed it forever, which is something that I feel Breath of the Wild also did with the Zelda series. Because my other choice would have been Mario Superstar Party, whatever that game was called. Mario Party Superstars.
That was a lot of time into that, I thought.
Well, that was my pick, actually. I did last year on my channel, I did a list of my favorite games of the year. And that was actually my choice for number 1 for 2021 was that game because it was such a breath of fresh air. Like it really brought back a series that had been dead for like 15, 20 years. And I feel like Pokemon Legends Arceus does the same thing. It may not end up being the most replayable Pokemon for me. There are definitely things about Sword that I really prefer, but just the impact that this game has clearly had on games moving forward, like with what we're getting with Scarlet and Violet and stuff. I predict Scarlet and Violet will end up being my favorite Pokemon games of all time, just based on, you know, what I know about it. The fact that it seems to be bringing back all of these Arceus elements. It's a main series Pokemon game with battling and everything. Like, how could it not be at this point? So, you know, I'm kind of in a holding pattern right now with Legends Arceus in the meantime, but I think it's got to be my favorite game. It's just so unique and so impressive, you know. And it really is a very Breath of the Wild take on Pokemon, you know. But I like everything that it did, you know. The things that it's missing are not things that I miss in the series, and the things that it changed are all things that I think it changed for the better. So yeah, easily for me, Pokemon Legends Arceus. So there we go. And those are our kind of cheating answers.
Isn't it? I forget that game exists, but it just came out this year, you know, and we're getting another one at the soon, kind of, you know, like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. In November, we should be getting Sword and Shield. I'm pretty excited. And then, of course, you know, you've been privy to all of my JoJo's hype because we're getting that 10-year-old game is getting remastered on the Switch. And all I can think about now is the fact that that game's coming out in a month. So, yeah, I've got my hands full for the rest of the year for good games that I'm looking forward to playing. And ironically, most of them are remakes or games that have existed for 30 years, you know, so what you going to do? But I will be talking and Change the System about a brand new series that I just discovered, an indie series that I fell in love with last night. So stay tuned for that. But I will not take the first Change the System because I want to keep y'all in suspense. So who wants to go first? I feel like I've been letting Justin go first on everything. Eugene, do you want to change the system here and give us tell us what you're all about?
Sure. I mean, I crossed the 250 hour threshold in Elden Ring just recently.
Wow.
And I just cannot get enough of that stupid game.
Is there still stuff to do in Elden Ring at 250 hours? Wow.
Totally. It's not even just trying to achievement hunt at this point, you know. I am doing that, but I am also finding new things. Like, you know, I just found a new cookbook that I didn't have before, so I was I was going the whole game without knowing how to cook the thing or craft, I guess, the craft of the thing to cure poison. I was just powering through the poison places through both playthroughs, mind you. I was just you know, whatever, I'm just gonna use my heal flask, and then when the poison runs out, the poison runs out. Turns out in close to the beginning area, you can go down the cliff, and there's a merchant that will sell it to you. I never met that merchant before, you know? So now that I have excuse me, by the way, now that I have,
I thought that was Justin because he was having soda.
No. Now that I have beaten it, I've been kind of doing a lot more Googling of it, you know, okay, yeah, where do I find this thing that I missed in my first time around? And yeah, no, I'm finding a lot of the game is humongous. I feel like it's like Breath of the Wild's big, but I feel like it's at least 2 to 3 Breath of the Wilds in the map size. It's massive.
So, question, Professor.
Yes.
So I was going to ask this actually because you're bringing up Breath of the Wild, and I'm kind of starting to get the sense that there's 2 kinds of open world games these days, and Breath of the Wild is more of the Justin type, where it's what a wide open expanse of nature. I want to explore every rock and cave. And that kind of stuff doesn't hit me the right way. And I think that's one of my issues I have with that one. Whereas with a game like Skyrim, it's this cave has a wizard in it. And if I kill the wizard, I get a staff that lets me turn things into chickens, you know, it's more kind of, I think it's more video gamey, more achievement based. And you know, you got a cool weapon, you got a cookbook kind of thing. Would you say Elden Ring is kind of a halfway point between those two? Or does it verge more on look at all the pretty landscapes, or ooh, I just got a new sword kind of
yeah, no, it definitely is kind of, maybe a little bit leaning towards the giving you things side of things, because every time you beat an enemy, it might not be something amazing, but you're gonna get you know, some kind of item. It may not be a unique item. It might be just you know, something to improve your health.
it's gonna trigger that little dopamine rush of like, I'm improving, I'm growing stronger kind of feeling.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I like
So
that.
like
I like
I
that.
just fought this enemy. I switched classes kind of. I respect. I was going a lot really hard on intelligence, and I here I am talking about Elden Ring again.
What
I
you
switched
playing?
a little bit to Dex and Arcane so I can wield this weapon that I've had for the longest time. It's called
Nice.
Rivers of Blood. It's like a Muramasa blade type of thing,
Nice.
and it freaking slaps, man. It just like is the coolest thing. And so yeah, like I feel like I'm playing a whole new character now, because
Cool.
that's the cool thing about this game. Much like a Monster Hunter, anytime that you switch weapons, you're gonna have a new move set basically that you're
Yeah.
gonna have to learn. So
Yeah,
it's been really
exactly.
cool. So yeah, no, just going through, learning the new things. I don't know that I am gonna play it a whole lot longer because I'm really close to getting all the achievement points. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I think once I have that down, then I might move on to other things. But I gotta say, my Xbox is getting a lot of love these days. Like it's a really awesome complement to the Switch right now. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing. So I will. I don't know. I don't have enough to say about the newer games that I've been playing because they're all just like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. A lot
Yeah.
of Game Pass stuff. So I'm not gonna spend any time talking about it, except Pokemon Go. You guys have heard all about it. I am pissed at Niantic though because I feel like they're getting real stingy with the shinies, and on top of
Mm.
that, the what is it called, the incense, they a while back they reduced how the incense works, so like it doesn't really work very well if you're not
Standing still.
moving. Yeah.
Ah,
so
shoot.
so like we used to be able to play the game and even buy incenses from the stupid shop just sitting in our living room or whatever,
Yeah,
and now we can't really do that anymore. It's just not as fun.
that's a
So
bummer.
Niantic, if you're listening, we're willing to give you money. We're buying the incenses, man. Like,
We've talked about this before, and I used to do that too, like all day while I was at work, because I work from home. I'd be popping incense and catching Pokemon, and it was a nice little thing to have on in the background, keep you busy and distracted and whatnot. But no, I they made so many positive improvements to the game during COVID, and they didn't keep them. They ended up like removing all the changes they made because they were supposed to be temporary, but all of the changes just seemed to bring more people into the game, and I don't know why they got rid of it. There are
it's silly
even
to me.
arguments that it's like pro, people with what's the proper term? I was going to say disabilities. I don't know if that's, but anyway, like people that
Yeah.
like
No.
mobility
Yeah. Hmm.
challenged or whatever, and that's not. I think that's fine. Maybe you can't leave the house that often, and you still want to play Pokemon Go. You should be able to. Maybe
Right.
you're like Justin and me, and you live in a spot that has nobody there. And there's nothing
Hmm.
to do. You can't spin and get stuff. It'd be nice to be able to still participate in the game. And it's just weird that they're trying to drown that out to some degree.
Yeah. So we've been not to talk any to drag it out any longer, but we've been going out and actually going to like the mall and stuff like that, and
Wow.
getting spins. But now with COVID come rising up again, like we
Yeah.
just went to a pediatrician appointment this morning, and our pediatrician said, "Hey man, it's looking like it's level 4 again, and school's about to start, so it's going to get worse." So
Yeah.
just that type of thing. So yeah, no, like come on, Niantic, like it's just makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anything
So yeah,
else?
that's really it. Yeah, Elden Ring has consumed me. I need to
What are you
check
gonna
all the
do?
boxes.
What are you gonna do when Elden Ring's? Are you gonna have a gaping hole in your heart? Like, what
Oh,
are you
don't
gonna
worry, they've
play?
already announced the DLC, so
Oh, geez. Well, there you
I'll be
go.
back.
You'll just play it for the rest of your life then. That's fine.
Pretty much.
What about Live Alive? Have you tried that one yet, or is that just kind of like sitting on the back burner?
That's one of the ones where I don't think so. Okay, A little personal insight to the life of Eugene. I don't know if you guys have know this, but my wife no longer works anymore, so we only have the one income. So I haven't been splurge spending on video games quite as often. Case in point, I have so many games. Like I said, case in point, Octopath Traveler is sitting on my SD card.
Plus, you can
Purchased,
hack
never
anything that you want from like 20 years past. So
right.
yeah. You could
So,
probably hack the old version of Live Alive on the Switch if you really wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
So while I do want to play that game eventually, now is just not the right time. You know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah.
I'm probably going to be getting a lot of games on sale going forward, waiting for the sale type of thing.
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me.
But yeah, that's really it.
Justin, you want to take over?
Sure. As usual, not really anything too exciting or new, although I did, speaking of Game Pass, I did download a game to my Xbox last week, or maybe it was the week before, started playing it last week, Fallout New Vegas. All of your raving about it inspired me to start playing it. It was on Game Pass, so, I figured I'd get started on it.
I'm going to want a report from you, because one of the things I've found with this game, and even unmodded, is the more I play it on PC, the more often it crashes. And I suspect that's a PC issue, not a console issue. But please let me know, because I would love to get back into that game. I got so fed up with it crashing every 5 minutes. So really hoping that you don't have the same issue and it's just fine on console and it's just a PC like compatibility thing.
I mean, I got through the whole, setup segment until you finally get to leave the doctor's office. And it didn't crash on me once, so it's probably a PC issue. Yeah. But it is a Bethesda game, so, bugs will happen. And that's part of what inspired me to play it is, being Bethesda and having fallen in love with Skyrim, when I got on the Switch, it was, it just seemed like a natural fit for me. I don't know how much time I'm going to put into it because God knows I have 100 other games that I play or don't play, as the case may be. So, but that's really the most exciting thing on my list. Let me just gonna check real quick to see what my most recently played games are.
No, that's not true. I want you to talk about those controllers.
Oh, right. Well, I can't really talk about them, but I can show them to you. I should probably turn off my virtual background for those watching this on YouTube.
Those of you who are listening to us, you fool, what are you doing? Stop giving us downloads and start watching us on YouTube.
All right.
Hey, Lucas puts the effort into editing it, so we may as well jump in and go watch those videos, man.
So after getting my N64 controller and seeing how nice and convenient it was, I thought, as much as I have all of these like 8-bit controllers for playing retro games, they are kind of a pain because they come unsynced and you have to resync them. And the great thing about the Nintendo controllers is they just work. Like, you don't have to do anything special to them. They just work. So I decided to get the Nintendo brand NES controllers, but I didn't want the NES controllers. I wanted something unique. So I went on eBay and got myself the Famicom controllers. They were only about $10 more, really, than the like MSRP of the NES controllers. So it really wasn't even that big of a commitment to get them. But what's nice is, they've got the exact same form factor. At least the player one has the exact same form factor of the NES controller. But the Player 2 controller has the microphone and speaker if I am playing on the Japanese versions of games. So, that's kind of neat. Haven't gotten a chance to use them, but, y'all know me. I have to have something different. They're shiny. I have to have something different. Like, I have to have something unique, and this is mine. I looked into getting the Super Famicom controllers, but those are like twice as much than the American ones on the Nintendo store, so I may just bite the bullet and get the regular NES ones. Maybe I can mod the buttons or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so not really anything new or exciting for me. Oh, well, I mean, there is something else that's new and exciting. I don't feel like turning my computer on to show you, but I got a brand new um 4K OLED TV that I plan on playing games on tonight, so that'll be fun.
So now you don't need an OLED Switch because you have an OLED TV.
Well, no, now I have OLED wherever I play games, except the upstairs office. That's still, you know, crummy backlit one, but
What you gonna do? All right, well, am I up?
You're
ahead.
up. Get it.
And I have kind of a fun one tonight because I played a couple of new games this week. Let's see. There was another one though. Oh, Monster Hunter. Let's start with that before I completely forget. Because Steve and I played a little Monster Hunter. We haven't played that much lately. It's been about like 5 days or something since we played. It hasn't been that long. But we beat Malzeno, who is the big flagship vampire monster from the front cover of the new DLC. So we are now in kind of sort of post game, kind of sort of ish. We're at MR5, which, you know, the story's kind of resolved itself. We saved the town. Everything was great. There was a little festival and stuff. And now we're kind of fighting like the big bads. We're getting closer to like Elder Dragon territory, it feels like. Now, Steve promises me there are surprises aplenty left over for me to see. So we're going to be grinding that out. I think we're actually going to be doing some of that tonight after the show, doing a little more recording. I've been posting all those to my YouTube channel, by the way, and I've gotten so much content from Monster Hunter that now I'm posting every weekday. It's like every single day.
Wait. Last week it was once a week, and then it increased to twice a week, and
twice
now you're
a week.
doing...
Now it's every.
Wow.
I have enough content for the end of this week and through next week right now, and we're getting more of it tonight because we're going to go. So, yeah, no, it's just hunting bonanza. So if you really like sitting and watching Steve and I do the same thing for 40 straight minutes, that's the place to be to check that out. But yeah, that's been Monster Hunter. I played another game last night called Multiverses, which I think I've talked about on this show before.
Was that out?
Yes, the free-to-play version just dropped yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
So first impressions, because as we all know, I'm kind of hotly embroiled in Multiverses. It's not on Switch though, Justin. So unfortunately for you,
you got an Xbox.
What is it on?
Everything else.
Okay.
Every
Everything
other system.
else, yeah.
So here's how Multiverses works. First off, gameplay-wise, it is probably the second best Smash Bros. Game I've ever played after Smash Bros. Like, it feels good. It feels a lot better than Nickelodeon felt. The characters feel solid. They're a little heavy feeling. Everybody kind of like sinks a little bit, but I think that's just kind of a personal preference thing. Like I was kind of saying when I recorded this, by the way, everything I'm going to talk about is on my YouTube channel. So if you want to see first impressions, go there. Sorry for all the shameless plugs. But yeah, I think a lot of that is that I put like 2,000 hours into the Smash Bros series and I put like 20 minutes into this game, and that will change. But yeah, it's cool. In the Batman stage, you actually hear like the cartoon da 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 da. Like it's really good. Like you can tell that the voice
Is Kevin Conroy the voice?
I don't know. I didn't play as Batman. I wouldn't even know.
Is Kevin Conroy alive?
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Here's where we get into the negative half of my review. Because while the game is incredibly solid, it is a free-to-play game, and it is oodled with microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
So the game was actually available a couple of weeks ago if you wanted to drop $40 on what they call the Founders Pack, which comes with a bunch of character tickets that unlock playable characters and a bunch of other little cosmetics and things like that. So you can kind of pay to have the base game unlocked for you for, I believe, $40, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. There's actually like 3 variations to the Founders Pack, which is already a little mind-boggling for me. I have not invested in this game. I don't plan to invest in this game until I know how expensive it is. All of the characters are locked at the beginning of Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman in this game. All of the characters come locked, and they have rotating unlocked characters. So currently, you can play as Finn from Adventure Time, who was the first character I played as, Garnet from Steven Universe, who was the second character I played as, and then I realized that characters were locked because I was playing as characters that were unlocked, thinking that everyone was unlocked. Superman is available. The weird little green doggo that was made for this game is available. And if you complete the tutorial, you unlock Wonder Woman permanent. Those 4 characters that I mentioned, other than Wonder Woman, will rotate out eventually, and you'll be able to play as maybe Batman or whatever. You can buy the characters, though. They seem to cost about $7 worth of microtransactions a piece. So if you're going to dive into this game and experience it, you're probably best off just paying $40 and unlocking the base game and experiencing it that way. Like I said, I kind of refuse to do that for a couple of reasons. First, I have plenty of other games to play right now. I am drowning in video games right now. RuneScape alone is my entire life right now. So I don't want to plop down a bunch of money for a game that I know I'm probably not going to put that much time into, even though I think the game itself is pretty cool. Second, I really want to wait like a while on this one and see how often they add new characters, how expensive everything is going to come out to be, and kind of see like how much is this game going to cost when all is said and done. Because right now it costs $40, but in another like 6 months, maybe it's going to cost $80, you know, that kind of thing. And I don't want to be like the alarmist here. I know this game is really popular and it's getting good reviews for a reason because it's a good game. But it's a good game with a really bad price structure. You know what I'm saying?
But look at how quickly and how often Mortal Kombat has gone on sale. So, so I mean, it'll be $80 in a couple of months. Then a couple of months after that, it'll be $40 again for everything.
And I understand the hypocrisy. I understand the hypocrisy of complaining about this when I will easily spend like $15, $20, whatever, on a character pack for Smash Bros. You know, I get that. But with Smash Bros, you're getting this base game that has so much content to it. I just feel like I don't own anything in Multiverses right now. And I get it, it's free. But it's just scary to me to think that I could get really invested in the game and then find out I have to blow another like $80 on it in another year in order to have the other 20 characters that I want, or however they decide to do this.
If you spend the $40, do you get all the characters and all future characters? Is that how that works? I don't
believe so. I believe if I was reading it right, what you get are character tickets, which I believe a character ticket unlocks a character. So technically you get the right to save your character tickets for future purchases. If you never want to play as the lady from Game of Thrones or LeBron James, who yes is in the game, you just want to play as the Iron Giant and Scooby-Doo, or he's not even in the game, Shaggy, then you can do that, you know? But I didn't dive that deep into it because I really don't plan to buy these things. You know, I looked at all the prices. I looked at the microtransaction tabs. I checked out when it said buy this character. I clicked it and I got taken to the screen where I can buy like whatever they call it, like platinum minium or whatever. And I was like, oh, interesting. It costs $700, but I can only buy in batches of 500 or 1,000. For $5 or $10, you know, that whole age-old microtransaction. So I feel, part of me feels validated because I've been complaining about this since the day the first trailer launched, and I got a lot of negative feedback for it. The game itself is really good, and I think we have kind of a Crash Bandicoot racing game situation here, where you have developers that clearly put a lot of love into their game, and the game is worth playing. But know what you're getting into before you dive down that rabbit hole, because I could see you spending a lot of money on this. Now, I will say, I only played against computers because I don't really like playing fighting games with other people online. I'm weird like that. So you can set up an online lobby, like a custom lobby, and then just put bots in, and that's how you can play like basically Smash Bros style, like 1v computers. When you're playing against computers, you can play against anyone. The computers are all unlocked, so you can do like, you know, Superman versus Batman, or Superman versus Harley Quinn, or Superman versus Jake the dog, you know, whatever you want. But if you're going to be playing the game, you either have to unlock the characters or wait for the rotation and stuff, it seems like. So if I play it more, which I don't know that I will be anytime soon, I'll try to report back. If not, maybe like if Justin or if you, Eugene, give it a try, you can kind of keep us updated. Because if I'm misrepresenting this game, I want to know. But based on my first night with it, that was the data that I took away. So some good, some bad. Cool game. I wish that it was just a $60 game that I could put money down on. I wish that was the case, because I don't know. I don't like getting games piecemeal. You know, I like knowing what I'm paying for and paying the full price for them, and then just having them. You know.
Yeah. And you know, even with as much as like Nintendo gets flack for, you know, their drip feed and everything, like you still know you're going to get characters, and you know that, you know, 10 years from now, you're still going to be able to play that game with those characters. Like, well,
at least Daisy and Shy Guy were free last week in Mario Soccer.
Right. And I'm sure they're going to continue.
And,
you know,
they are.
Yeah, they've done it with the other Mario sports titles. I'm like, Like, I get how frustrating it is to not have everybody unlocked from the beginning, but at the same
Yeah.
time, they want you to keep coming back and playing the game and talking
Well,
about the game
I
and
said it last
buying it.
week. Yeah, I said it last week. I went. I didn't talk about it tonight if I changed the system because I only played maybe about an hour of it. But I went in when Daisy got unlocked and I added her to my team and I tried to, take down one of the tournaments. And then I realized that those tournaments are BS because they're so freaking hard in the, what is it, galactic mode or whatever. My
Uh-huh.
God.
I've been prepping for those tournaments, Eugene. I'm building what I consider the perfect team, and I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. So we shall see. But I really want to try beating those tournaments someday.
But to your point, Justin, it got me back and
Yeah.
turned on my Switch in between Elden Ring, and then I got smashed a couple of times in the tournament, and then I got
Yeah.
turned it off and went and got smashed in Elden Ring because I'm a masochist.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. I just I feel like I didn't used to be this upset about microtransactions and stuff, but something about the whole free-to-play model just really irritates me, maybe more than it should. I know there are people out there like Steve who will not touch this game because he refuses to play games where the characters show and you can't play them. He feels very tempted with that, and he refuses to engage with a game like that because all the characters are sitting there tantalizingly, but they're not selectable, and that irritates the crap out of him. So
Sure.
I'm going to pivot now because we're almost done with the show here, and I want to get this last one done because it's a really cool game. I'm going to pivot to a much more positive game experience that I had literally right after this one. I wanted to sit down and record another game, so I downloaded a demo for a game that is not yet out. I don't know how to pronounce the game because the first word is MISC period. I'm assuming that stands for miscellaneous, could be miscellany. They could want me to say misc. I just call it by the second part of the game, a tiny tail. This is the most amazing indie game I've ever played in my life. I fell in love with this.
Wow.
And you can watch me fall in love with this game on my YouTube channel next week. Watch it. Okay, so picture Banjo-Kazooie meets Chibi Robo, and they had a baby, and it's the most amazing thing you've ever played. It's so cool. So you're this little robot, and you have a little robot friend who has a bag over his head, and his name is Bag Boy, and he has a little robot cat that sits on his head. And you live in this little micro village. They say it's after all the humans died out on Earth and everything, so it's got a little Pikmin vibe too. You can tell the people who made this grew up in like my era of Nintendo games. It's so cool. All the characters talk with little like Banjo-Kazooie Chibi Robo like noises and stuff. You can run around, you can hop, you can fly, you can buy little power-ups in all the shops. You're collecting little bolts that are currency. You're collecting gears that are basically like power stars. And you need to get a certain number of power stars to get from one area to the next. Along the way, there's little platformer challenges you can do. There's characters you can talk to and you can find like loot for them, and they'll give you gears in exchange for the loot and stuff.
Sure.
It's a pretty game. It is a quality, like everything about the game feels good other than the camera. The camera's a little wonky. It moves really quick and it throws you off track and stuff. And there's just those little hints of indie here and there, but it is such a professional AAA indie game. It feels like it was made by Nintendo.
Awesome.
In World 2, it's so much bigger. You can like climb up a tree. There's all these little like people to talk to. You literally get like a scrub brush and starts cleaning oil off the ground a la Chibi Robo. And he's wearing like a little frog. It's such a cool game. And I feel like I'm not doing it justice describing it here, but it is so incredible. And this one is coming to Switch when it launches. So I would highly recommend you all check it out.
Did you download the demo on Steam or on Switch?
I downloaded the demo on Steam. I don't believe the demo is available on Switch yet, or ever. I don't really know what the plan is going to be for that. If anything, knowing indie developers, they'll probably do Switch last because I think it's a lot harder to do Nintendo than other things. But I mean, honestly, like pop on Steam.
I'm looking at it now. Actually, it looks like it only is coming to Switch,
cool.
Microsoft and Windows and Switch. So
yeah, that
that's
makes
cool.
sense. Yeah, no, it's such a cool, like it honestly, like it did something to me when I was playing this game. Like you can play the first 2 chapters right now. It's so well done. It just oozes like love and quality, and the people who made this clearly wanted to make something really good, and it just shows. So I never thought I would have this strong of a positive reaction to an indie game, because again, I usually find them kind of lacking in areas, not necessarily through a lack of effort, but just a lack of like, money or whatever it takes. But I think we might be reaching this point where it's more possible. I don't know. It's
Well,
so well
we
done.
were talking pre-show about your game development stories, and like software like Unity and Unreal is like
It's a lot more
readily
advanced.
available.
Well, yeah,
So
I downloaded the new version of Unreal Engine tonight, Unreal Engine 5, and you can just pop in and within seconds you can have a pre-made 3D game engine you can just like add on to. And they probably did something like that. I don't know how big this team is. There were no credits at the end of the demo, so I don't know how large the team is. I know they've won a couple of like third place award at like indie game shows and stuff, so clearly they're getting an audience. But just it's impressive. Like I literally felt like a 10-year-old kid in like the year 2001 sitting down and playing like a game on his GameCube that he bought.
you got my attention, so I'm
yeah,
in.
I recommend it. Give it a try and see what you think. It's very basic. It's not gonna do anything that's gonna revolutionize like the games industry for you or anything. But it's really good. It's just a really solid, well-made game. And yeah, I'm really excited to see this one when it comes out. I hope it continues to just grow and be good and add new mechanics and stuff. Because what I played was kind of simple. It really hooked me for like a good hour and a half, however long I played it. So
That's cool.
yeah, Tiny Tail. Look it up, play the demo. It's free, and show the devs some love. They deserve it. And I think that is pretty much it for me, actually. Like I said, those two games I really wanted to talk about, and that one I really wanted to gush about. But yeah, that's about it. I did download Klonoa, by the way. I downloaded that last week.
I downloaded
yeah.
the demo. I haven't played it yet.
I knew I wanted it, so I downloaded the full game, but I have yet to touch it because I've been playing everything else, and I know that's not going to be... So I do have this thing, Steve always warns me about this, where anytime I play a game, I want to record it and make content out of it because that's my life now. And I know Clona was not going to be a game that I do that with, so it's on the back burner, and I really just need to find some nights where I sit down and play games just because.
Just to play games, yeah.
Yeah, but whatever, it is what it is. Tonight is Monster Hunter, so what you gonna do?
Gonna have some content tonight.
Gonna keep on pumping out unwanted Monster Hunter content. Yeah. But yeah, so that's it, and I think that does it for us. Thank you all so much for listening and or watching if you're on YouTube. We have had a couple of new views on YouTube I've seen, and even a couple of comments here and there, so thank you if you're participating on YouTube. We appreciate it. We will be back again, as always, next week with another episode as we bridge ever closer to that miraculous episode 700. We are now more than halfway there. Till then, bye-bye!
See you real soon.
Adios.
Peace.
Arrivederci.
Hasta mañana.
All right.
Aloha.